The summer days have been so wonderful. I have absolutely loved them. The wildflowers are in bloom and the days are warm, and they actually aren't even really that overly warm, so it has just been like almost perfect, just almost perfect. And after 2.5 months of rain and gray, it has just been so refreshing. It's just been like food for my soul to finally have some beautiful sunny days again. Welcome to Homemakers Journal 23. I had hoped to get this out sooner in the month than I am, but you know, things just didn't go according to my plan, as you all, if you've been following my blog, probably know. But I have to say, I am definitely on the other side. My stitches are out, and it's everything. The incision is healing. And I feel so much better. I'm finally off all the antibiotics, which those take their toll on a person too. You know, they're great because they save your life, but the side effects have not been enjoyable. But I'm on the other side of that now. So always the optimist, thinking ahead, and really excited now to be on the other side of this. I hope you all are having a good summer and enjoying some warm weather too, and hopefully not too hot. I know some places in this country it gets super hot during the summer, and so I hope you have a lot of good air conditioning if that's the case. But we have been busy just pretty much around home. My husband's been busy with the just kind of taking care of the property and bringing in some firewood for this next winter. And we're looking forward to maybe taking a break and going and visiting family a little bit, but not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but hopefully soon. I'm just feeling right now particularly grateful and definitely happy, and you know, just it's whenever you have something that kind of sets you back, it's like that time to reflect on everything that you normally take for granted. And even though it was my left hand that had the problems and I'm right-handed, you know, that's great. However, you don't realize how much you use your left hand, and you know, now that I'm back to being able to hold the jar while I open a lid, or even just squeeze a tube of toothpaste as I hold my toothbrush and things like that, it's like all these little things, we just take them for granted, and when you lose them, boy, I tell you, you're certainly grateful when you start getting back to normal again, you know. I had wanted to share with you guys on this episode of Homemakers Journal the really such a neat recipe that I kind of came across and then made some changes to it, and it is so easy. It is red lentil wraps, and they are made completely from red lentils, and I think I just love them because they were, I don't know, 5 to 6 grams of protein in each wrap, super nutritious and super easy to make. And I made up a batch a while back, and I haven't had a chance to go back and make another batch. I made a short video on this showing the ingredients and how to make that. I can link to that, or I'm sure I'll list the ingredients down below too, so you can check it out there. But so simple. You take 1 cup of dry red lentils. They haven't been cooked, and you soak them in 4 cups of water. And when you're done, they've kind of expanded somewhat. You drain the water out of that and rinse them super good, and then dump them into your blender. I have a Vitamix blender, so it was, I'm pretty sure that they're going to need a pretty good, powerful blender for this. But after you put them into the blender, you add 1 cup of water. I added a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of garlic. Mine was granulated garlic. You could probably use garlic powder, and blend that up until they're nice and smooth. The biggest thing that you're going to make sure you have for this is a good non-stick frying pan. So, or you're going to have to use quite a bit of oil. I did not have to do that because I have a non-stick frying pan. So, and you put just a little bit less than half a cup into your frying pan and spread it around. I started by using the back of the measuring cup to kind of smooth them around into a round shape like a wrap, and then ended up finding a spoon, a large spoon. The back of a large spoon was much easier to do, and then I let it cook, and they take about 3 to 4 minutes per side, so they do take a little bit of time to make, but the biggest thing I was so impressed by was how soft they were. They ended up being absolutely delicious. We had, I think, some barbecued chicken. It's been a while since I made these now, but I think it was either barbecued chicken or barbecued pork in the refrigerator left from a previous meal, and we had that in the wraps that night for dinner, and oh my goodness, we really enjoyed it. The recipe will give you 8 wraps when you're all done. So I haven't tried freezing them. I don't know how they would turn out after they defrost. Would they still be soft like that? But they are totally soft, very durable, will hold whatever you put in them, and very delicious to eat. I had somebody ask me if you could use brown lentils. I haven't tried that. I don't know why not. You know, obviously they would have a little bit different taste. Red lentils I find to be very mild in taste. So maybe they would have more of the stronger lentil taste if you use the brown ones. They also make green lentils. Could that work? Probably. I don't know. But if you try that or try anything other than red, please let me know, because I could pass that information on too. But I hope if you're looking for something that's inexpensive but yet super healthy, that you might be interested in making these red lentil wraps. And if you do, let me know. What do you guys have in your buckets?
Eggs.
Are those eggs? Oh wow. Look at that.
Huh?
Yeah, I see your eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah, okay. Let's take them to the house now. I had requests from a couple of different people curious to know how I was going to use my home canned meats. If you've seen any of my canning videos over the last few months, I canned chicken with the bone in, I canned hamburger, I canned pork butt, and people have asked, you know, how are you going to use that? And I've already been using it. I've used all 3 of them, and they've all turned out just fantastic. So what I'm going to show you right now is how I used a jar of the canned chicken, the canned bone-in chicken, along with a quart of chicken stock, and I turned that into chicken and dumplings, and it was just super easy. I started by making the dumplings first, and I followed a recipe. Normally I just kind of make biscuits and use that. I found a recipe which I'll link to below for dumplings, and I thought, oh, I'll give that a try. Those actually turned out really, really good, and they weren't that difficult to make. I started doing those first so that by the time I got to that, I would be ready to go. And then after that was done, I went ahead and sauteed up some onions and mushrooms. I added some frozen peas and carrots to that. Then after that was all cooked and soft, I threw in my chicken broth, and then I took the time to debone my chicken. And that's basically all you have to do. I pulled the chicken out, put it on a plate, and at that point it's just removing the meat from the bones, just like you would if you had just cooked it. So it's really very simple. It just took a matter of a little bit of time, and with that meat, I put that into my broth. Now, I ended up adding about a half a cup of my own homemade cream of whatever soup mix to it, because I wanted to make the broth a little bit more creamy and maybe thicken it up just a little bit. That's totally optional. You could also just add a little bit of milk with some flour or cornstarch in it, and if you wanted just to thicken it up. I also find with making chicken and dumplings, the dumplings themselves will often thicken the broth up to be enough. So it's really up to your own personal preference. But once I had all the broth, chicken, vegetable mixture was all boiling, I dropped in all my dumplings and put the lid on, cooked that for, I don't remember, it was the amount of time on the recipe, which, like I said, is linked below. And then we served that up for dinner and with a salad. And oh wow, that was so delicious. And that chicken meat turned out so tender and so flavorful. So that was a good way to use it. And also I have used my canned hamburger a couple times now. I made spaghetti using my own canned spaghetti sauce, and that was super easy because all I had to do was boil noodles, and I poured in a can of already cooked hamburger, my jar of spaghetti sauce, stirred that up, and adjusted the seasonings, and we had dinner ready to go. In fact, while we were traveling back in April, I believe, or May, I ended up taking that with me so that it would be something easy to do while we were on the road, and it certainly did turn out really easy. And this next recipe I'm going to show you, and that was also using my canned hamburger. Now, if you want to try this recipe and you don't have a jar of canned hamburger, don't worry, you can just use a fresh hamburger, or if you've cooked and frozen some hamburger or something like that. So just substitute with what works for you. Well, it is time for another episode of Creative Use of Leftovers, and I don't have a whole lot of leftovers. This is what I had, a little over 2 cups of rice. And I had made teriyaki meatballs over rice the other day, and we had this much left over. So I'm going to show you how I turn this 2 cups of rice with a few other ingredients into a completely new meal. I am going to be making a casserole with this, and this is going to go together so fast it's not even funny, because I have already canned hamburger. If you have frozen already cooked hamburger, this would make this go together really well. And of course my rice has already been cooked. So my plan is to make a Mexican hamburger rice casserole. If you wanted to stretch this even farther, you could add a can of beans. You could add 2 cans of beans and less hamburger if you wanted to make it more frugal. It's very versatile. I am going to bake this at 350 degrees for probably 20 to 25 minutes. I will remove the foil for the last 10-15 minutes so that the cheese can get all nice and melty and make sure everything is hot and bubbly. And then it's going to be dinner time. I hope that you guys are enjoying summer and the warmth, and that you have a lot of good things happening during the summer. I know a lot of people do a lot of canning during the summer. I have more plans to can. I just haven't got there yet, but I know this is a big time of year for that. And I hope you're enjoying all the benefits and beauty of summer. Barbecues or family time together. We've got that coming up too here pretty soon. I've got some kids coming into town, so that'll be fun. And just enjoy this beautiful weather before this season ends, because boy, I tell you, seasons go by quickly. I can certainly see that, and it seems like the older I get, the faster time goes by. I don't know. Can you relate to that one? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, let me know how you all are doing and what's going on in your life. I would love to hear that too. And that And that wraps up Homemakers Journal 23, and I hope you enjoyed it today. And please don't forget, it really helps out my channel if you can give it a like, and you know, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye bye.